y'all can always watch it again. So I'm recording it now.
Let me tell him.
Yeah. I don't want him to get in an accident or anything like that. So he can show. Okay. So that's what we need to do. So right here, it's gonna end up looking like 4,500 divided by 480, and I'm not skipping any steps. I don't want to confuse you guys. 480. I get 93.75. Did everybody get that?
Yes.
Good with that? Okay. Now remember, this is just the ampage that my transformer is carrying, or how can I say it? Like my transformer is demanding. There we go. 93.75 amps, okay? Now we need to rate it at the overcurrent protection. Well, it's not telling me, if I read my question, it doesn't ask for supervised or any location. I don't have an impedance, so I'm not even gonna bother looking at the 450.38. I'm gonna flip over to the other side where it says 450.3 feet, okay? Oh crap, it says less than.
Right.
1,000 volts. Oh no, it is. We can. This one. Okay. So in our question, it says we're only gonna protect the primary. We don't need to protect the secondary. So looking at my chart, is it a transformer that's 1,000 volts or less? Yes. Am I doing only primary? Yes. Here I'm doing primary. I'm not worrying about secondary. So between these three, do I have a current of 9 amps or more? Yes. So I'm going to be multiplying it by the 125. Now, if you remember, it says anything at 125, you can size up. Anything other than that, you have to size down. So right here, I have 93.75 times 125%. Oops, 93.75. 1.25. I get 117.18.19, something like that. 117. That would be 19 right there. Everybody, are we all on the same page? Or am I going?
I concur, doctor.
Huh?
I concur, doctor.
I concur. I love that movie, man. Catch Me If You Can. I love that movie. Well, then again, I am obsessed with Leo, so, you know. My man.
Hey, he does real good on Blood Diamonds. I like how Blood Diamonds is good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think the movie was good, but the accent was kind of shitty. I'm not gonna lie. The accent was like, really?
What? His accent was okay. All right. Yeah, I thought. Yeah.
So okay, we're all in this together right here. We're at 117 amps, and now we're gonna go over to our sizing, our standard fuse rating sizes, whatever.
So we're gonna go to 240.6, right?
Yeah, 240.6A. If I have 117, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna go to 110 or 125?
125.
125. Because when you're figuring it 125%,
oh, you go up.
You have to size up. You can't derate it.
125. I can size up. Anything other than that, we go down, right? So 117 I have, it's gonna actually be 125 amp fuse. If that was, or OCPD, because it doesn't even ask, oh yeah, it does say fuse, never mind. It says fuse. So good, we all get it, right? We're getting there, we're getting there. Awesome. So you're gonna have 2 questions that are like that. Let me know when you are good so I can turn the page.
Is the one to go through? Is the one to go through?
No?
Yes.
Oh.
Tony, don't worry about it. I started recording when we were doing this, so that way in case I need to go back to it, you can.
Okay.
I'll share the link with everybody after class.
Okay. Thank you.
Let me just write you down for the attendance. Tony Montana. All right, so I'm going to turn the page. We're good?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. turn. Now, another question that I threw in here is on the circuit breakers. So, let me see. I think that one y'all can solve it because it's kind of like the last one. I'm trying to see which ones are like the harder ones. Let's do something like this. Let's do a diagram. I have my MVP here.
Oh, excuse me.
Over, no problem, to my transformer. And then from my transformer, I'm coming out to a disconnect right here. Okay. My transformer is going to be It's KVA 3-phase. It has an impedance of 3%. My primary is 4160. My secondary, volts. My secondary is going to be at 2400 V, okay? So the question will be determine. Maybe I should zoom in a little bit. I don't know.
Man, thanks, man, because God, I'm struggling.
Yeah, I was
with
thinking
glasses
about that right now. I'm like, oh, they're probably not gonna be able to see because I was trying to write big so y'all can see, but I was like, that's not gonna help that much. So determine the maximum size over current protection device permitted to protect the primary of the supervised.
Ma'am, am I reading that right? The secondary is at 2400 volts.
Yeah.
Okay.
The coming in, you're coming in with 4160, and you're coming out with 2400 volts.
Okay.
Okay. So in reality, with this one, we have a disconnect. So obviously it's gonna have an overcurrent protection device on this side. The question, don't let it confuse you, is just asking you for the primary. But we are going to size this as if you're doing both of them, right? Does everybody understand why? You have
No, say that again, ma'am.
You're looking for it's asking you, what is my CB right here? That's all it wants to know. But you have two overcurrent protection devices. You have one on the MDP that it's asking you for, and then you can see that it has a disconnect with fuses over here. While it's not asking you for the size of fuses, you don't have to go that step further. You still need to get the circuit breaker on this side and size it as if you were going to do both, okay? Because at some point along the line, you're still gonna need to figure out that overcurrent protection device on the fuse, on the disconnect. Now, if it was a load or the wires were just like hanging out there like in the book, then we could just do primary and focus on primary protection only. But here, I see two protections. I have my MDP and I have another disconnect right there. So in this case, I do have an impedance. I'm gonna go with chart 450.3A, right? And then it does say that it is supervised. So I'm going to go to the supervised column. Let me show you. Right here, I'm at supervised. My impedance is 3%. This one's any, not more than 6. More than 6. So it's not more than 6. I do know which one it is. It's right here. That does not pass 6%. So I'm gonna go with this middle column. Okay. If it was like 12, 13, 15, whatever impedance, then I would go with the any. All right. So right here, the middle one, I'm only gonna go for my primary because that's what we're looking at right here. And then it's asking you, is it gonna be a circuit breaker or is it gonna be a fuse? So yeah, right here, you don't need to figure out the secondary one yet. So it's gonna be a circuit breaker, 600%. Don't forget to look at note 4 just in case. Note 4, electronically actuated fuses that may be set to open at a specific current shall be set in accordance with the setting for the circuit breakers. Basically, it needs to match whatever your demand is. It has to match what you're trying to protect, which is the circuit breaker has to match whatever the demand and the rating for the protection. I can't even get the words out of my mouth. Okay. So right here, I know that I'm gonna have to figure out ampage. So here I go. It's 15 kVA. It's a times 1,000. It's a 3-phase, and my voltage is on my primary side is 4160, right? That's what I got. So then I come over here. This is 1500. Let's see, 4160 times 1.732, 7,205, whatever. That's what I get, right? So 1500 divided by 7205.12. I get, my ampage is 2.08. I'm just gonna round it off right there. Amps. That's where I'm gonna stop. Okay. I feel like I'm forgetting a step. No, I'm not. Okay. So we have 2.08 amps, right? Now I have to rate it. And when we were looking at the chart, we determined that it was going to be what? The 600? So right here,
Yeah.
amps times 600%, right? Times 6.00. I end up with 12.49 amps, right? We're not done there yet because we need to go to the other chart, 240.6A. Now remember, what happens right here with the 600% with our, when we're trying to get the standard size?
It's got to be set to be in accordance with the circuit breakers. So
Yeah. So we technically, if we need to, we can go to the next higher, next standard size rating, right?
that's right.
As long as it's in accordance with it. So let's look over here. I have 12.9. Either we go with 10 or we go with 15.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am, did you freeze?
No, I was thinking. My brain froze. Sorry. So right here, I'm going to go with the 15. I'm trying to read the notes right there. Supervised, it doesn't have one. It just doesn't see no 4. It has to be in accordance. I think it's close. Well, it's not closer to the 15. It's kind of like right in the middle, man.
Ma'am, at the end of 240.6A, it says the use of fuses and inverse time circuit breakers with non-standard amp rating shall be permitted. 12.5 amps is a non-standard rating. So
But where the hell are you going to find a 12.49 amp?
well, you're not.
Additional standard ratings.
So do we size it up or do we size it down?
I would go with 10 amps because, like we said before, this is what your demand is right here. This is your demand, right? This is with your overcurrent protection rating. Yes?
Yeah.
So would you want, the question is, would you want it to trip at the 12 or the 10, the 15 or the 10? Well, my ampage is only pulling 2.8, 2.08. So I'm gonna go with the 10. And this,
Okay. Okay.
Unless the engineer tells you otherwise, and that's a completely different story. But right here, based on what I'm thinking and the experience, it is the demand is a 2.8. So I'm gonna go with the lower rating because it says that it has to be rated towards whatever your setting is, right? In accordance with settings. Set to open at a specific current shall be in accordance to settings. And I'm pretty sure that you can get one of these circuit breakers with the settings on it, and you can even increase that to trip at this 12.49, because that's typically what those little dials on the breakers are for. Except the electricians don't mess with those. That would be like your PM or the engineer or wherever you bought the panel from. Yeah, the breakers usually have some like little thing here, and they'll have like these little dials with the numbers all around, and that's your adjustable trip breaking settings, whatever. Okay, so that's the second question. Does anybody need to copy any of this or no? I can go to the next.
Next.
Thank you. Next. Okay. So I gave a lot of them kind of the same way, I'm thinking. Let's see. Of the primary, and then determine the secondary. Okay, we just did a few of those. Determine the maximum size circuit breaker for the primary of the transformer. Let's try one of these. So I only have one of them. I think I did. Okay, so here's something that you might run into. Here's my MDP. It's going to a circuit breaker enclosure. It's going to be my primary. And then from here, it'll go to my transformer. And then for my transformer, it'll come up over Monday.
Jaime just texted me. He said to please let him in.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't see him. There we go. There we go. Let me write him down. Okay. And this is a CB enclosure as well. Okay. I'm gonna draw a little circuit, or what looks like a circuit breaker, I guess. I don't know. Here's my MDP. It's going to a circuit breaker enclosure. This is gonna be on my primary side, obviously, and then this one's on my secondary side. My transformer is gonna be. I don't want to do the points. I wanted to give you a 112.5. Yeah, let's do it. 112.5 kVA. It's non-supervised. I'm gonna put it here, non-supervised. And on my primary side, I have 4160. My primary. On the secondary, I'm gonna have 2400. Right? And the impedance is 4%. So basically, we need to determine the.
All right, I'm trying, man. I can't write that fast, but I'm trying to draw that picture.
Don't worry, I'm recording, so if y'all need to go back to it, y'all can. Maximum size. CB. I'm just gonna put CB for the primary. I mean, I feel like I did all of them kind of the same now that I'm looking at it. I try to switch it up and it looks the same. Okay. Same thing. We're just looking at my primary side. I don't care about this stuff right now. Just my primary. Those are the numbers I'm gonna be looking at. So let's start getting ready with the, can I move it up a little bit? So we can do the amps. Trying to make the whole page fit here. Amps, 112.5 times 1,000 over 4160 times the square root of 3. The main thing, it's not, the math isn't hard. The thing is that y'all need to remember what the hell you gotta do first. That's where it really comes into play. Like, okay, if I have this, I know the formula that I need to use. That's all it is. And then the rest kind of works out itself. Times 1.732. Okay, and this is what I got for my ampage. Did everybody get the same thing?
Well, let me double check on.
Somebody double check my stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Alrighty, awesome. I'm writing Jonathan Torres came in. Okay. So okay, now we have that. Once again, I go to my chart, 450.38. My impedance is what, 4? It's
Yeah.
4%. It's non-supervised, so I'm gonna put any location. Is it not more than 6 or more than 6? Well, it's not more than 6. I'm focusing on my primary, and it's gonna be an enclosed circuit breaker, so it's gonna be 600%. And of course, if you read note 1, where the required fuse rating or circuit breaker setting does not correspond to a standard setting or setting, a higher rating or circuit or setting that does not exceed the following shall be permitted. And then it gives you those 2 rules right there too. So right here, we said times 600. What do y'all get?
15.61 times 600.
Sorry.
93.66.
Everybody got that?
93.6.
Nobody else got what he got?
93.66.
93.68. This is the rating that I'm protecting it at, right? So now last step is 240 point whatever. Don't forget about note 1. Note 1 is basically telling you you're allowed to use the next hire's OCPD standard rating, right? But it does not apply to the primary and secondary OCPDs where both the primary and secondary protection is provided. And that's only in supervised locations. So this is non-supervised. We can definitely step up. So it's going to be what, 100? What is it? Yep, 100. Right here. PB. Yes? I feel like all the questions are the same now that I'm looking at them. They look the same to me. These are a little bit different. So everybody's done with this one? Are we good? Pretty straightforward, right?
Got it.
We've been kind of looking at it. Ya estamos bombos de all of this. Adding, multiplying, dividing, square roots. Okay, so the next question that I'm gonna give you, I want to say 2 of them exactly the same and 2 other ones that are similar. So I'm gonna do one of each anyways, just to give you a good idea. The next question I have is a 480 volt transformer is installed And remember, I'm just switching up the numbers, guys, so you know. Installed without secondary protection. Ah, dang it, I forgot overcurrent. Overcurrent protection, my bad. Overcurrent protection. The rated primary current, I'm sorry, my husband's singing, I mean, of the transformer is, here you don't have to figure out the amperage, it's giving it to you. Determine the maximum. Ella, cállense.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I had to put on mute and be like, they can fucking hear you. What the hell? My bad, my bad. Of the OCP, ADHD, and dyslexia kicking in. Permitted to protect the primary. So here you don't have to do the calculation for the amperage. It's already given to you, right? 1.875 amps. The primary current of the transformer is 1.87. Okay, 875. Determine the maximum rating of the OCP permitted. I don't have an impedance. I don't have none of that stuff, but I do know that it's a 480. So I'm going to go with 1,000 volts or less, which is my 450.3B. It says something installed without secondary protection, so I'm not gonna even worry about that one. I'm just gonna focus on the primary only protection right here. Primary only. My amperage is 1.75, so it's actually less than 2 amps right here. So I'm gonna go with 300%. Right? 3.00. I get 5.625 amps for my overcurrent rating, right? So now what would be the maximum rating of the OCPD permitted to protect the primary? What would my, what is it? Does it say if it's a fuse? No, it just says OPD device, OCPD. What would it be?
Ten.
We would go with 10 or we would size down. Remember that 300.
You could size it down to,
Exactly.
you could size it down to 3.
Don't forget about this note right here that talks about the 125%. If it's not if you're not multiplying by 125%, that means you need to size down. Okay. So over here, the fuse that I would actually be using is a 6 or circuit breaker, whatever it is, 6 amps. Okay. So you'll have 2 similar questions like that. Did I just give you without changing? Yep. That's one of the answers for one of the questions. Sorry, my bad. I'm not gonna rewrite it. And then there's one more that I have that's similar to this one on top. No, that one's pretty easy. I'm just not even gonna do it. Another question that you'll get is something like, what size primary OCPD, and using a fuse is required to protect a 30 kVA 208 volt 3-phase transformer. Oops.
Ma'am, is that a 30 or a 50?
This one? It's a 3-phase.
Yeah, but it's 30 kVAs or 50?
Oh, over here. Yeah, it's 30.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I made it too small. Sorry. So right here, what size is the primary OCPD device? So you already know 30 times 1,000. Primary side, this is the 208 times 1.732. I get 30,000. Right, keeps on going, whatever. My ampage. Did everybody get that? 83.33, 333.
Yes, towards the end of the question, it's after 3 out. What is that? XF?
Transformer,
No.
XFMR. If you look at blueprints, they'll label it like that too. So there'll be like about 3 of these questions as well. So once you have that, then all you have to do is, okay, what do I have to multiply by? I don't have an impedance. It's obviously less than 1,000 volts. So I'm gonna go ahead and, does it say only primary? It's only primary protection, primary only. I'm at 83 amps. So I'm gonna multiply that by 125, right? Times 1.25. I get 104.16. Right here, I can size up. So what am I looking at?
Okay. Yeah, you go. Yeah.
This is gonna equal 110 amp fuse. And you got 4 of these questions. Now, that's pretty much, they're gonna be like that, all of them. It's the same basic questions, just different numbers. So if you have questions now, is a good time to ask it.
ma'am, were there any questions about, the other night when we were doing primary and secondary and we had to, we were getting into our
There's
parallel
only,
circuit?
yeah, there's only one. There's only one of them. And no, I didn't do the parallel circuit that time. Come on. I mean, I can be mean, but I'm not that mean.
I don't know, man. You're pretty mean.
No, miss, you're not mean.
Unless y'all want one, I can throw in a couple.
No.
No.
And like, no. Maybe I'll throw one in there for bonus. Like a 10-point bonus if y'all figure that out. Right? That'd be a good. I'll write it up. Okay. So for attendance, I have Dario, Jonathan Ibarra, Eduardo Lopez, Jose Arizmendi, Ernesto Loera, Dave Gibson, Raúl Berlanga, Tony Morales, Jaime Rodriguez, Jonathan Torres. Am I missing anybody? Amos, I'm missing him.
The one and only.
Guzman. Well,
Amos. Oh, Amos is there.
is it Amos or Amos? Is it Amos? I've been saying it wrong this whole time.
Almost in Spanish. Same,
Yeah, it's
it doesn't matter really.
Dang,
Same as-
It does
I
matter.
feel like I've been insulting you this whole time.
well,
guys.
almost in Spanish.
Oh, okay, good. And it's not that bad. Just a reminder, guys, when we do makeup classes, we are supposed to stay the whole 4 hours. I don't like to do that to you guys because I mean you're still gonna take the time. So I'd appreciate it if you don't out me that bad.
No, miss.
No. Just watch what you say to who you say it to. That's all.
I don't say nothing, man.
Okay, just give us extra points and we'll be okay with it.
If no one can stay
no.
until 10:30, I mean,
I don't
Hey,
know.
hey, girl, I got nothing but respect for you. I ain't saying a damn thing. Ain't
It happens in Zoom, stays in Zoom.
alrighty.
nobody snitching.
So I'm gonna go ahead